Welcome to 8 a.m. on this Monday morning. Jen is off today. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
Castro. Thanks for sticking with us. Here's a look at some of the stories we'll be covering this morning. There was a tense scene this morning in Sun Valley. A pursuit suspect climbing on top of a building. Gigi is live at the scene with the very latest there.
The war in Iran entering week 3, and the impact is especially being felt at the gas pump. We'll tell you what it looks like as far as those gas prices are concerned.
And the dust settling on an exciting night in Hollywood. We have the biggest winners from the Academy Awards. It was a golden night in Hollywood, and here's a golden morning for Maria.
Well, I mean, apparently Bobby is not a fan of my trying to match Oscar.
I love a theme. You look beautiful.
Curious to know why, but you
don't need a reason to be golden.
Yes. The song Golden won. That was a big thing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The Oscar is gold, right? So
great.
I was trying to match it.
Going to be sunny out.
Yes, that's right. Bobby was like, I'm not sure about the outfit. 71 in Woodland Hills, 63 in downtown LA right now, 59 in San Bernardino. You can't please them all, right? You can't please them all. 87 in the high desert, 68 in the mountains today. It's going to be hot. 100 in Palm Springs in the low desert areas. Downtown LA, yeah, is much warmer than yesterday. 92, that's well above the average as well. The average is 70, so we're way above that. 95 in the valleys and the Inland Empire to that 72 at the coast. In fact, it's going to be even hotter as we move into the rest of this week. I'll show you those details in just a few moments. In the meantime, let's head upstairs to Stu and get a look at our traffic conditions out there. Oh, this doesn't look too bad, Stu. Where are you?
Hey, good morning, Maria. Yeah, we found a hot ride on the 405 for our hot day today. Not really looking forward to all that heat. I have to be honest about that. But the ride on the 405, are you looking forward to it? Let me explain what's going on. That's going to be North Hills, Mission Hills. We're up in the hills in the valley, and that's going to be the southbound right there coming away from the 118. Yeah, you're going to hit the brakes right there when you're making your way off at Roscoe. Then you kind of go a little bit, and you're hitting the brakes again. It is very slow and go this morning. But if it is your ride, this is probably what you're kind of used to. It is going to be just that ride that you're expecting. That's what you're going to be getting into. We did see at this when you make your way over to the Sunset, it does open up and looks great. If you're headed northbound, maybe from LAX out to the valley and beyond, that ride on that 405, excellent is the best word to use. Sending it back to where it's always excellent. That's going to be a Roxy and Bob. Good morning.
Oh, thank you, Stu. So a suspect in custody this morning following a tense standoff. It happened on top of a building in Sun Valley.
Gigi Garcia is live at the scene. She broke the story this morning, and she has the very latest. Gigi.
Good morning, Bob and Roxy. Good morning, everyone. We're in front of Byrd Middle School, and take a look. You may be able to make out in the distance there that gray sedan. It appears to be gray, possibly white, that the suspect was driving. This is where a pursuit came to a crashing in. LAPD still here on the scene. They've spent hours searching the campus for a possible weapon. But take a look. This was the dramatic end to an almost 2-hour standoff this morning. A man wanted on suspicion of driving under the influence and then leading police on a pursuit, dangling off the side of a 2-story building, hanging onto a camera pole after he either fell or jumped. But he quickly tried to stop himself from falling. Police and paramedics, though, had to rescue him. It all started just after 3:30 this morning when LAPD Foothill officers tried to pull him over on suspicion he was driving under the influence. They say he stopped for a moment, then suddenly took off again, launching a pursuit that came to the crashing end right here in front of Byrd Middle School on Arleta. From there, the suspect ran straight onto school property, forcing the closure of Roscoe and part of the 170 freeway behind the school. But even though he was surrounded by police, he refused to give up. Instead, he climbed onto the roof of a 2-story school building, and the standoff was on for the next 2 hours. Police described his behavior as erratic, at times trying to hide, other times screaming from the side of the building, and even more concerning, taking off his shirt and tying it around his neck and the other end to a pole as if he might harm himself. That prompted firefighters to put down a large air cushion below the building as police called in their mental evaluation unit. Those are clinicians specially trained to deal with people who are possibly having a mental health crisis. At one point, the suspect's parents and his 16-year-old son also arrived. Officers had hoped that their presence might convince him to come down safely so the teen wouldn't wouldn't have to witness all of this, but that didn't work either. Then suddenly it all ended when, again, the suspect either jumped or fell off the side of the building. He was taken to the hospital for both a medical and mental evaluation. Meanwhile, officers continued to search the school grounds for a possible gun. They do believe he was armed, and they say he's no stranger to law enforcement. In the past, police tell us he was actually arrested for murder, although the outcome of that case remains unclear. Again, the suspect, who has not yet been publicly identified, has been taken to a hospital to be checked out. Meanwhile, classes at Byrd Middle School will go on as scheduled. Reporting live this morning in Sun Valley, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Yeah, we see all those kids walking to class this morning, Gigi. Good thing this is over. Thank you so much. SoCal bracing for the possibility of record-breaking temperatures this week.
Yep, let's go to Mario joining us right now with more on what you can expect. Hi, Mario. How's it feeling out there right now?
Hi, that's right. It's comfortable right now. We're in Culver City, where an early season heat wave is pushing temperatures way above normal. We're talking 20 to 30 degrees above normal, which is very unusual for this time of year. Maria was just mentioning that it's still officially winter, but we're going to feel like summer this week. Now, we're at Veterans Memorial Park here in Culver City, and you can see it's a nice morning. The sun starting to peek through the leaves there, and we can tell you that as temperatures here rise to the mid-80s today and even higher in the 90s in other parts of LA County, we're talking about serious temperatures that could pose health risks. For mid-March, unusually hot temperatures running about 20 to 30 degrees above normal, and that heat is expected to be even more intense further inland. So the hottest conditions will be in the San Fernando Valley, the San Gabriel Valley, and other inland parts of the county, where temperatures could climb into the upper 90s, even triple digits later this week. And because of the heat, LA County and city officials have opened cooling centers across the region, including public libraries, community centers, and recreation centers where people can go to cool off in air-conditioned spaces. Officials urging residents, especially seniors and young children and people who work outdoors, to take precautions. That includes drinking plenty of water, limiting outdoor activity during the hottest part of the day, and checking in on those vulnerable neighbors. Now, the heat event is far from over. Coming back out here live, the forecast calls for temperatures to continue climbing over the next few days. And you can see that guy over there finding some shade already. Residents who need a place to cool down can find the nearest cooling center by dialing 211. And there's actually a cooling center right across the street that opens up in the next hour or so. We're going to show you that location coming up on Good Day LA. For now, that's the latest here in Culver City, where it's comfortable, still a little breezy, as we anticipate these temperatures to keep climbing. Send it back to you.
Yeah, comfortable is good. Mario, thank you. All right, let's get caught up with the latest in the war in Iran. Fighting spreading beyond Iran's borders and into the wider region. Israel expanding its ground offensive in southern Lebanon to target Hezbollah positions. At the same time, tensions are rising around the Strait of Hormuz, where Iran is blocking ships from countries it considers hostile. The strait carries around 20% of the world's oil. This raises concerns about global energy supplies and gas prices right here at home. Meantime, President Trump is pressuring U.S. allies to reopen the route, calling on NATO nations and China to send naval forces to the region. Trump is also warning he could delay a planned summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping if China does not cooperate.
The Pentagon identifies the 6 service members who were killed when a refueling aircraft crashed in western Iraq while supporting operations in Iran. Captain Seth Koval, Captain Curtis J. Angst, Technical Sergeant Tyler H. Simmons, Major John Alex Klinner, Captain Ariana G. Savino, and Technical Sergeant Ashley B. Pruitt all were killed Thursday in an apparent midair accident involving another refueling aircraft. The first 3 were members of the U.S. Air National Guard, while the latter 3 were stationed with the U.S. Air Force. The crash remains under investigation. The U.S. Central Command previously saying that the loss of the aircraft was not due to hostile fire or friendly fire.
And here's a look at some of the gas averages in our area. Again, these are averages. In LA and Long Beach, we're seeing $5.62 per gallon. Orange County, $5.57. Riverside and San Bernardino, you're at $5.50, and in Ventura, $5.55.
All right, let's talk about this. The LA Unified School District employees will get layoff notices this week.
And Brooke is following the latest on that.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty simple. According to the school district, enrollment is down, but expenses are not. Last month, the school board voted to send notices to 3,200 workers by March 15th. In all, about 650 job cuts are expected. And according to a school board report earlier this year, those jobs might include tech support, parent education support assistants, gardeners, bus supervisors, stock clerks, and a few interpreters. The cuts do not include classroom teachers. The district says the cuts are necessary to address a massive budget deficit, an $877 million deficit to be exact. A union representing thousands of LAUSD employees disputes this, though, saying members believe the district can afford to stop the layoffs. So much so, they're planning a rally Wednesday afternoon at Grand Park to protest the layoffs. But $877 million, that's a big difference.
Yeah. Huge. But there's talk of reserves. This is what some of these people who are getting laid off are wondering, why doesn't the LAUSD tap into what they believe are some pretty big reserves?
Yeah, no, let's talk about that, because they are tapping into the reserves. They've been tapping into the reserves year after year after year. Alberto Carvalho, at the time, about a month or so ago, addressed this head on, because they started the school year with some $5 billion in reserves. Over the years, they've been dipping into this reserve account, so much so that it's set to disappear completely in 3 years. And he's essentially saying they can't wait until it's gone to do something about the issue. Repeatedly, year after year, they are just spending more money than they're bringing in. Expenses are not only not going down, but they're going up while enrollment is down.
Yeah.
How do we get that enrollment up, right?
Yeah,
that's a $1 million question.
How do we get more federal money? How do we get more money? You know, we were just talking during the break, the school districts across the nation are like increasingly relying on private donors to bring in millions of dollars to try and help out, asking billionaires in the community to help out. You know, our nation is kind of just in a weird space when it comes to public education.
Yeah, that is a fact. All right, Brooke, thanks so much. 8:12 still ahead. A bizarre bust in West Covina. The fake passenger one man actually created to drive in the carpool lane.
Also, getting a ticket to the big dance. We're going to show you which local teams are headed to the NCAA tournament as March Madness begins. First, let's get to Stu with a check of the madness when it comes to the morning commute. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bob. Madness for sure. I'm staying tuned to hear about that carpool story. I need to know. Skybox traffic brought to us by My Home Sold. Take a look at that 101 drive. Encino's where we are, totally for sure. Take a look at that. It is a tough drive this morning. Monday, just very, very busy. Most of the freeways we've been looking at are just very slow and go. This is no exception. North or southbound from the 405 out to the West Valley. Give yourself plenty of extra time. No crashes. Thank goodness for that, but very high volume. Let's take a look at some other traffic hotspots.
Hello, I'm Adrian Hernandez with MyHomeSold.com, and we want to buy your house cash. We'll give you a cash offer for your house today. Sell your house the easy way with no commissions, no fees, no repairs, for free, no obligation cash offer. Go to MyHomeSold.com.
A look at some of our top stories this morning. A fight on the Santa Monica Pier ends with 2 people shot. Police say the gunfire rang out around 9 last night following a large brawl. Both victims were taken to a hospital. Their injuries are not life-threatening. Parts of the pier were closed overnight for a while as officers looked into what happened. So far, no arrests. Jury deliberations resumed this morning in that landmark LA civil trial on social media addiction. The case will decide whether Google and Meta should be held liable for harming children using their social media platforms. A California woman contends she became addicted to social media as a child, causing depression and suicidal thoughts. Protests have erupted in Cuba amid growing food shortages and power outages. Over the weekend, demonstrators attacked Communist Party offices and chanted against the government. Such protests are rare. Cuba's president blames U.S. oil sanctions. President Trump says he's close to a deal with the island nation. The brackets are set for March Madness. On the men's side, UCLA will play the University of Central Florida in Philadelphia on Friday afternoon. It will be their 54th appearance in the Big Dance. And for the first time in the school's history, Cal Baptist University in Riverside is in the tournament. The Lancers' first ever appearance in March Madness comes after they won 63-61 over Utah Valley University in the Western Athletic Conference Tournament Championship game. Cal Baptist will play Kansas on Friday night. Taking you to the women's side now, UCLA is the #1 seed after winning a second straight Big Ten title. They're set to play the 16th seed Cal Baptist University at Pauley Pavilion. That game is on Saturday at 7 p.m. USC received the 9th seed and will face 8th-seeded Clemson on Saturday in South Carolina. The Trojans enter the tournament with a 4-game losing streak. This will be the first meeting between the two teams. March Madness, Maria, it's so much fun to watch all these college teams.
It is fun. We watched a little bit of it definitely yesterday, and I just can imagine, you know, as a parent, what those parents are doing right now. I know. Yeah. Maybe one day I'll be, you know, up there just cheering on with you guys, right? Because you guys. Oh yeah, we'll be there too. You've seen Gus growing up, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, you guys get ready for the heat. We've got an area of high pressure. We've been talking about this really since last week and how it was going to be quite extreme as we move into this week, the last few days really of winter officially on the calendar. This ridge of high pressure is going to produce some dangerous temperatures, 20 to 30, even 35 degrees above normal. 70 is the average for this time of the year, and we're talking about 90s and triple digits. So of course, we've got heat alerts. We could be looking at more record high temperatures, potentially the hottest March high temperatures ever since we've been keeping records, or since it's been really kept since the 1870s. So it's been a long time that last record high of 99 was broken. So we'll wait and see if we accomplish that, but high pressure is really going to keep that storm track well away from us. I wish I could say that there's a storm headed our way. As I look at the long-range models, I just don't see anything organized at all through the end of the month, it looks like right now. So we may see more of this. Extreme heat warnings, of course, going into effect tomorrow, but heat advisories pretty much everywhere. Heat-related illnesses really increase significantly during these extreme heat events, and so you want to stay heat safe, please. I want you to be mindful of being outside. Try to limit your physical activity outdoors. Take numerous breaks. If you have to work under these weather conditions, wear light-colored, lightweight clothing. Remind the kids to drink lots of water. And then get in some air conditioning if you can. If you don't have air conditioning, go to a cooling center, go to a library, go to the mall, go to a movie. And please check on our pets because the pavement is very, very hot as well. Check on them. Make sure they're indoors in some air conditioning. 92 for downtown LA today. 80 in San Diego, not as bad. But looking at Ontario, we're going to hang on to this pattern through the end of the week. Like I said, upper 90s there. And then we'll drop those temperatures down. I think more significantly noticeable on Sunday. Still going to be warm, still going to be above average in the 80s, but not quite as hot, right? Woodland Hills getting to those triple digits by Thursday, Friday, potentially record-breaking, and then some relief over the weekend. Pasadena, look at this, 97 as we get into tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. And as we welcome spring officially on Friday, 96 degrees, that's very hot, and then getting down to around 84 on Sunday. So please stay heat safe. All right, we'll talk more about the weather. We've got news, traffic, all coming up after this quick break, so don't go anywhere.
A live look right now at LAX. Look at that. We have some morning clouds there. Some low clouds. All of it clearing up today. Lots of sunshine throughout this week and a heat advisory. So we want to make sure you stay cool. Check on the pets. Check on the elderly. CHP is sharing some pics of a carpool lane scam artist. Look at this. The driver was cruising along the 10 freeway with a fake passenger in the front seat when officers pulled him over in West Covina. A news release from CHP's Baldwin Park office said that the phony passenger was simply a jack wrapped around the front seat with the seatbelt fastened across it. It didn't work. I guess nice try. Okay, Mom and Dad, if you've been thinking about getting an AI-powered toy for your kids, researchers say you might want to reconsider. A study out of Cambridge found that chatbot-enabled toys had a hard time recognizing children's emotions during playtime. What does that actually mean? Well, in one test, a child said, "I love you," to a new toy, only for the chatbot to respond with these words: "Follow the guidelines." Experts say toys can help kids with language skills, but they should not replace human interaction. And researchers say AI toys should come with clear labels and be used in places where parents can keep an eye on things. 8:26 is your time. So ahead, a new art exhibit in Culver City spotlights the Eaton Fire, and Coco is there live. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, a very powerful exhibition here at Des Artistes in Culver City. It's called Post-Fire One. We'll tell you more about the meaning and introduce you to the artist behind this beautiful piece coming up.
Thanks for sticking with us on this Monday. We want to let you know that President Trump is scheduled to speak within a half hour, maybe here shortly from the White House, perhaps to give us an update on the war in Iran. And when that happens, we will bring that to you.
Yep.
Let's talk about the weather. They actually had to cancel votes in Washington because of severe storms there. They were talking about the potential for tornadoes even there as well.
In Washington, D.C.? Okay, well, there is a storm system that is moving out of the Midwest. So speaking of some severe weather, we have some severe heat here. So, you know, if you like the heat, then I think you're going to like the forecast. However, that being said, we consider the heat a silent killer. It is the leading cause of weather-related deaths, not tornadoes, not hurricanes, not floods combined, by the way. More people die from heat every year because of heat exhaustion, heat stroke particularly, which can be fatal. So I want you to know the difference, right, between these two. Because if you see someone suffering from these symptoms, you will want to act immediately, especially when someone is suffering from a throbbing headache, and then there's no sweating despite the heat, red hot, dry skin, rapid, strong pulse, and may kind of faint. You want to call 911 immediately because that person could be suffering from heat stroke, which can be fatal. Now, on this side, if you're feeling a little faint or dizzy, see someone that's sweating profusely, their skin cool, pale, rapid, weak pulse, you want to give them some cooling immediately. Get them in some air conditioning, drink water, maybe even a cold compress. You want to make sure that they don't suffer further from heat exhaustion. And these are the weather conditions that we are under right now. Extreme heat warnings in effect through Friday. So everybody across SoCal really susceptible to this, and believe it or not, a lot of people, especially near the coast, do not have air conditioning. And when you look at day after day, so it's cumulative here now as we look at some very hot days coming, temperatures could get well above what we have been seeing and above normal and above the record highs that we have been experiencing as well. 92 for downtown LA today, which is hot, but it's going to get hotter as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, even with temperatures in the upper 90s to triple digits, which could be the hottest temperatures we've seen in the month of March ever since we've started keeping records. So this is the kind of heat and danger that we are under. So please stay heat safe. 92 in Burbank, 96 in Corona today, 95 in Woodland Hills, to that 100 potentially in Palm Springs. All right, I'll show you the 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. In the meantime, let's check in on traffic. Samada's back in studio with a look at our freeways. Hey, Samada.
Good morning, Marie. Good morning, everyone. Yes, as Maria pointed out, stay heat safe and make sure your vehicle is in tip-top shape. The tires are working okay. The air conditioning unit in your car is running well. We do have this brand new crash. We're going to take it out to the Garden Grove area, or should I say the Fullerton area, eastbound side of the 91 at Brookhurst Street. There was a hit and run incident there, and it is blocking a lane of traffic. We are picking up a little bit of delay. I'll call it medium. I just want to plan for that, and tow trucks are en route to address that issue. We've got 49 minutes, your ride, leaving downtown to get to Santa Monica. The beach is going to be a popular spot as people are looking to escape the heat from interior areas. Meanwhile, this early hour, we are picking up some patchy fog. Westbound 22, eastbound side 22 at Harbor through Garden Grove. A little difficult to see. Make sure you take it slow. Send back over to you, too. All right, thank you so much, Samada. Now to the latest on the war in Iran. President Trump says that he has demanded that about 7 countries send warships to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. It is a key waterway for transporting oil. As you may know by now, Iranian forces have blocked it, partially contributing to the spike in gas prices in recent weeks. At the same time, new airstrikes were reported in Beirut and Tehran. Meanwhile, an Iran-backed group targeted the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. So far, more than 1,300 people have been killed, and the global economy is feeling the impact. President Trump is telling NBC News that he is not ready to make a ceasefire deal, but the terms, quote, aren't good enough yet.
Developing news this morning, another 3 members of the Iran women's soccer team who accepted refugee status to stay in Australia have decided to return to their homeland. Australian government officials made that announcement yesterday. Iran's team arrived in Australia for the Women's Asian Cup last month before the war in the Middle East began. Initially, 6 players and a support staff member from the squad list of 26 players accepted humanitarian visas to stay in Australia. One of them changed their mind soon after. Iranian officials dismissed claims that the women will not be safe if they return home.
Despite negotiations stretching into the early hours of the morning, there's still no deal between the WNBA and its players' union. The league commissioner saying Friday that the deal needs to be done today to avoid disruptions to the upcoming season. Negotiations on Sunday lasted 14 hours, wrapping up just after 3 a.m. this morning. The WNBA commissioner saying progress is being made as the players' union pushes for more revenue sharing and housing options for young players. The league's first preseason game is April 25th. And the season starts on May 8th.
A new exhibition of local artists features work by victims of the Eaton fire.
That's right. Let's go to Coco right now, live in Culver City to show us. Hi there.
Hey there, this is a new exhibition called Post-Fire 1 here in Culver City, featuring artists who survived the Eaton fire. And I want to introduce you now to Camilla Taylor, who lost both her home and studio in the fire. So we are sorry for your loss, but you've got these just beautiful pieces of artwork, and we would love for you to tell us about this one to start.
Thank you so much, Coco. This piece is called Fury, and it's made out of hand-etched and hand-cut copper. It's in the shape, roughly, of a poncho. I wanted it to feel like a garment of clothing that you could put on. It's in reference to the mythological creatures, the Furies, which were enactors of justice, of punishment for transgressions. So I wanted it to feel like that is a role that you could assume as the viewer, that you could become this enactor of justice and securer of what's good and what's right in the world.
Yes, and while we walk to your other piece, if you can talk about why it was so important for you to be part of this.
Well, Philippe Browning's been a longtime supporter of my work and of the arts in Los Angeles, and so when he reached out to me to invite me to be on the show, it was really meaningful to be able to reconnect with all of these artists from Altadena and all of these people who are dealing with the same problems, the same complications, and to be able to regroup and then continue to share our work with the Los Angeles community.
And we're looking at another beautiful piece that's really meaningful as well.
So this piece is called Caretaker, and it's also made out of hand-cut and hand-etched copper. It's in the shape of a grease moth, which is a type of insect that eats human corpses. So one of the creatures that take us when we die and help us move on to the next thing that we will become.
Thank you so much, Camilla, for sharing these meaningful, important pieces of artwork with us. It's just so important that you come out and see this. I also want to bring in Philippe Browning, who is the founder of Des Artistes here. So just your pitch to the community to come here.
Sure. Thanks, Coco. Thanks for having us, and welcome, Good Day LA audience. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday from 1 to 6. All the work in the show is available for sale. All the proceeds go to the artists. We're at Des Artistes here in Culver City on Washington Boulevard, 6006 Washington Boulevard. We encourage everybody to come see the show. This is some extraordinary work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philippe. Extraordinary work indeed. And it's important to note that all the proceeds go directly to the artists as well. So you're able to support them as they try to get through this tragedy that is continuing to impact their lives. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, so talented. And as you said, very meaningful. Coco, thank you for bringing that to us. Happening this week, LA Unified School District employees are set to receive layoff notices. Last month, the school board voted to send notices to 3,200 workers by March the 15th. In all, about 650 job cuts are expected. The district says the cuts are necessary to address a massive budget deficit. A union representing thousands of LAUSD employees is planning a rally Wednesday afternoon at Grand Park to protest the layoffs.
A verdict could come this week in the groundbreaking social media addiction trial happening in downtown LA. The jury will resume deliberations today. Jurors will decide if Meta and YouTube, which is owned by Google, intentionally designed addictive platforms that harmed kids' mental health. Attorneys reveal internal documents claiming the companies knew their features kept kids hooked. Both deny the allegations, but a loss could set a major precedent for the tech industry. TikTok and Snapchat each settled before the trial began.
After a proposed settlement deal got a lukewarm response, an antitrust case against Live Nation and Ticketmaster is moving forward as of today. Last week, a handful of states agreed to a deal between Live Nation and the Justice Department, but California and more than 30 states said it didn't go far enough. The states accused Live Nation of squeezing out competition and driving up ticket prices. Live Nation denies that, saying artists and venues set the prices. And now a jury will continue hearing the case, which could impact how concert tickets tickets are sold nationwide.
In the meantime, Amazon is raising the price of its ad-free Prime Video by another $2 a month. Starting April 10th, Prime will now cost $5 a month. Amazon rebranding the ad-free tier as Prime Video Ultra. It also said that it's adding more features to the subscription, like the ability to watch content on 5 devices simultaneously, up to 100 downloads, and 4K streaming.
The headliners for the 2026 Out Loud Music Festival in West Hollywood have now been announced. The Pussycat Dolls, Jade, and Ava Max will be the top 3 acts. The Out Loud Festival takes place during WeHo Pride, June 5th to the 7th. The 3-day event at West Hollywood Park also features 20 other performers. Out Loud celebrates LGBTQ plus artists and allies. Tickets start at $179. Just go to OutLoudMusicFestival.com.
Great lineup.
Yeah.
And a great weekend, if I do say so myself. Wink. It's our birthday week. I say our because your daughter has her birthday. We're birthday twins. It's a thing. I want to go back real quick because you said you were talking about Amazon. The joke that went.
Yes.
Did you hear
Ted
that joke?
Sarandos joke?
No. That was funny
Netflix
too.
Jokes.
Conan O'Brien was saying Amazon Studios getting 0 Oscar nominations this year. Outrageous. Nothing for Walmart or Aldi or Amazon. I want where I order my toilet paper to get more nominations. That was pretty funny. Good job, Conan. All right, speaking of entertainment, it's sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. Hollywood made history last night, and in an appropriate way, a special moment during Women's History Month as well, with the win for cinematography.
The Oscar goes to Sinners.
I'm so honored to be here, and I really want all the women in the room to stand up, because I feel like I don't get here without you guys, and I just feel like moments like this happen because of you guys, and I want to thank you for that.
I loved this moment so much. 98 Academy Awards ceremonies, and this was the first time a female cinematographer won. Autumn Durald-Arkapaw taking home the gold for cinematography for her work on Sinners. She was there with her husband, and Ryan Coogler ran to go get her son and brought him over to closer so he could see his mom accept that Oscar. She's the 4th woman nominated and the 1st woman to ever win in this category. Also, one of the water cooler moments this morning involved an Academy Awards tie.
And the Oscar goes to... It's a tie. I'm not joking. It's actually a tie. So everyone calm down. We're going to get through this. Focus up. Calm down. Remain calm. I'm going to name one winner. They'll come up, accept their award, and then I'll come back and name another winner, and then they'll accept their award, okay? Here we go.
Doing it. Oh, I didn't realize that's how they did it.
This was for the live action short film category, but what's crazy is that there have been 7 ties in Oscar history, and here you go. Here's where the ties are, starting from 1932, and as most recently, it was 13 years ago for sound editing had a tie. Yeah, so it's been 13 years with sound editing, Skyfall and Zero Dark 30 having a tie. How do you feel about a tie at the Oscars?
I don't think so. I don't like it. Because then the other 2 are left.
I don't like it either. There's no ties in World Series, or you play until someone wins, or the Super Bowl, you play until you have extra innings, you have overtime. So how do I think? Me, as a non-Academy member,
Tell us.
I think that there's a voting period, okay? And then they finish that and they see that they have a tie. I think they could extend it for a couple more days by sending out a note to the members saying, we have a tie in this category. If you've already voted, we've gotten your vote. But if you still would like to weigh in on this, here's your chance. And that would break the tie.
Yeah. I also found it weird to do the tie like that.
I say give everyone an award.
Give everyone an Oscar. The way he did it, like they should have just, you know what I mean? Just announced the people.
Of course. And they did 2 separate, obviously.
Can you imagine the other people waiting to know if they're going to be called next?
I agree.
That is such torture.
Yeah, but who goes up to the stage first then?
Go together, take turns. I don't know.
Right. Speaking of together, it was a night of the Golden Girls celebrating together.
And the Oscar goes to K-pop Demon Hunter.
Thank you to the Academy and to all the fans who got us here. And for those of you who look like me, I'm so sorry that it took us so long to see us in a movie like this.
That was director Maggie Kang along with Chris Applehans. They were in our studio making history last night because this is the first time South Korean creatives have been honored at the Academy Awards, both in the Best Animated Film category and in the Best Original Song category, which let's get to that right now.
The Oscar goes to Golden.
Growing up, people made fun of me liking K-pop, but now everyone's singing our song and all the Korean lyrics. I'm so proud.
I got chills when she said that because they have been winning award after award, from Golden Globes to Grammys to now an Oscar. This truly was a Golden Award season because of EJ and Rae Ami and all of the girls that both sang and lended their voices for the K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm sad we have to wait years for the sequel to come out.
Just 3.
Right.
Yeah, just 3 years. But so well deserved, so celebrated, and it was a cultural moment.
Absolutely.
Lots of pride.
But I was bummed because you're listening to their speech and then this moment happened.
Thank you for Ian Eisendrath and Spring Aspers. And is there anything else?
I'd like to thank
Come on.
Oh no.
You know, I have to say, I don't know if that was a technical difficulty or if that was a actual conscious choice. Usually you have the music start to play and it gets increasingly louder and louder and louder. That came in full blast. There wasn't really a warning. And then not only that, when the music played, they put the lights out. They were still standing on that stage. They were begging for a little bit more time.
Right.
How was her speech really long?
It wasn't long compared to some of the other speeches of that night, and I thought that there were other areas they could have trimmed.
Totally.
Some bits they could have trimmed down to have.
He was like, he was so sweet. He was a little nervous. His hands were shaking as he was holding the speech.
I think they could have let him have a couple of sentences. I mean, this is such an iconic moment. People come from all across the world for that moment, and I thought it was in poor taste to do it the way it was done. To do it the way it was done, I thought that there could have been a better way. I know that you have to keep things tight, but that one just felt a little bold to me.
I want to invite him on our show.
Hey,
he can give his speech
so that he can tell us what he wanted to say.
He can do it here.
I like that.
Great idea.
Hey, we are friends with the K-pop Demon Hunters.
Get on that.
And their team. And we have an open, you can come on our show. We'll give you 5 minutes.
Yes.
Maybe 6.
I agree.
We will not cut you off.
We will not cut you off.
Oh, that made me feel so bad.
Well, let's get to our poll. I don't mean to cut you off, but should there be a tie for the Oscars? 51% of you say no. 1 category, 1 winner. Go to foxla.com/vote to let us know what you think. But yes, my heart hurt for him a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, a new report reveals a generation that struggles the most with driving safety behind the wheel. Any guesses? Think. Speaking of driving, let's check on the roads.
And it's a difficult drive, unfortunately, on the roadways. Good Day Like Traffic is sponsored by the offices of Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.com. We have this brand new crash. Unfortunately, to add to the mix, a motorcycle-involved collision is currently taking a lane of traffic. This is going to be the southbound side of the 405 at Atlantic Avenue. Long Beach Fire emergency crews are heading to the scene, so heads up. If this is part of your route, give yourself extra time. And also wanted to go ahead and revisit this incident. A multi-wheel crash earlier, eastbound 118 at Princeton Avenue. Heavy-duty tow truck is on the way, and we are picking up some moderate delays still behind that incident. And there are some locations still dealing with some fog. Both directions of 22 at Harbor, a little difficult to see at this hour, but it's expected to clear up later today. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
I looked up and just ran. Maybe we need to seek somebody who does have the expertise to be able to guide us through the process. If you're getting to an accident, you're in good hands by dealing with Jacob and Ron. Call Jacob.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. This weather is sponsored by the law offices of Larry H. Parker. And yes, we are looking at a hot one. It will be hot today, but it will be even hotter as we get through this week, especially Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This area of high pressure continues to dominate our weather, really keeping that storm track well away from us, and that offshore flow will help to warm us up to well above average. So we've got heat alerts for these 20 to 30 plus, even 35 degrees above normal. And we're not seeing much relief overnight, so that heat alert, meaning heat-related illness, is very possible with all of this heat we're expecting, with even some more records expected. Potentially the hottest March day ever since record keeping began in 1878. So we'll wait and see if that happens. But in the meantime, please stay heat safe. We've got these heat alerts in place throughout Southern California. Make sure you try to limit your physical activity outdoors. I've mentioned this even last week. We talked about how heat is that silent killer. It is the leading cause of weather-related deaths. Temperatures on the sand, probably the most comfortable in terms of those temperatures, low 70s. But we do have some surf heights coming in at 2 to 4 plus, occasionally 5-foot sets from Ventura south into Orange County and San Diego. So just be careful with those rip currents, moderate to high at times. 72 along our coast, getting up to 81 on Wednesday. Tomorrow, by the way, St. Patty's Day. We will welcome spring officially on Friday, just in time for some very hot summer-like temperatures in the upper 90s for downtown LA, 95 for the valleys and the Inland Empire. And that's where we're going to see those triple digits, certainly. Up into the mountains, around 68 degrees. The high deserts, of course, we're looking at some warm conditions, getting up into those 80s, near 90. The Coachella Valley, the hottest when we are talking about those triple digits here in Palm Springs today. Later at 100, potentially 111 by Friday. Back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. If you ever felt like your kids may be bad drivers, maybe you're onto something. According to a report by Consumer Affairs, Gen Z drivers are the most dangerous behind the wheel. The safest, baby boomers. Millennials and Gen X drivers fall somewhere in the middle. The report says Gen Z are involved in 45% of all fatal crashes, which are attributed to bad habits behind the wheel. Baby boomers have the lowest rate of traffic crashes and injuries of any generation currently on the road. It's the texting and driving, don't you think it is?
Distraction. I think it's they don't get their licenses at 16 the way we used to.
Oh, that's true.
Less time on the road.
Yeah. That's a good point. Metrolink is making holiday travel easier and cheaper with its $10 SoCal Day Pass. The pass offers unlimited same-day rides on most train lines. That's during 6 major holidays, including Memorial Day, July 4th, Christmas. It's perfect for exploring Southern California's top spots without the hassle of traffic. Free transfers to local transits are included. Tickets are available on the Metrolink app or at stations.
Speaking of alternative ways to get around, wait till you see this. An Italian goldfish sets a new world record. Blub just broke the record for greatest distance covered in a motion-sensing vehicle driven by a fish. Huh? In 1 minute, Blub traveled over 40 feet in a specially made vehicle that moves the fish tank by tracking movement in the water. Oh, so if the fish moves to the left side of the tank, the car also moves in that direction. An engineer created this device so his pet fish could drive, but there's also hope that this technology could one day help people with mobility issues. Pretty cool.
That is cool.
It's like when I had a hamster and I put it in one of those balls.
When did you have a hamster?
I was a kid.
Okay.
Just rolls around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Yeah. What was your hamster's name?
I think, was it Kabubica?
Oh, just a normal, everyday name.
Okay. Okay. Let's go over to Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. All right. At this point, you know, any gas station you visit will be expensive, but there are simple ways you can improve your fuel efficiency. So we'll talk about that. Plus, is the USPS, the Postal Service, in serious funding trouble? The warning the agency is set to give Congress this week.
Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to 9 a.m. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
Wild scene in Sun Valley this morning. A man ends up on a roof after a police pursuit. Details on the standoff that involved his other family members as well.
Plus, for the first time, we're hearing from the friend of rapper David after Celeste Rivas' body was found in his Tesla. Brooke will join us with those details.
And I'm Amanda Salas. Last night was a huge night for the movies, and there were tons of memorable movie moments. We've got all the big Oscars wins that you may have missed, or maybe, hey, you're like me, you just want to watch it again. But first, a lady I could watch over again, Maria, giving us the weather.
Thank you. I did try to dress in the theme of the Oscar gold cold. So I did try today. Good morning. It is going to be another hot one today. But if you think it's hot today, wait till you see the next several days. We could be looking at the hottest temperatures in March ever since record keeping began. Right now we're seeing a few clouds, a little bit of fog along our coast, but that will dissipate and we will see sunshine and the heat for sure going up. 72 right now in Ontario. Oh, some of the numbers just ticked up. 72 in San Bernardino, 45 in Big Bear, real time. It's showing us temperatures outside. 77 in Woodland Hills to that 76 in Palm Springs. High temperatures this afternoon will range anywhere from 100 in Palm Springs in the low desert, 87 in the high desert areas to 68 up into the mountains in Big Bear. I think the coolest because along the coast it'll be warm as well. 72, and a lot of people don't have air conditioning, so you really want to stay heat safe and get inside in some AC. 92 for downtown LA, 95 for the valleys and the Inland Empire. We'll talk more about the heat and the warnings in effect in just a few moments. In the meantime, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. Taking a live look here from Washington, D.C., President Trump will be holding a news conference ahead of a scheduled board meeting at the Arts Center there. So he is expecting to speak with media, of course, as the war with Iran enters the third week. We'll bring it to you live when that happens.
Oh, yeah, that's a live look at Washington, D.C. there in the White House, and keep an eye on things, but we'll cover some other things in the meantime. We're talking about the heat, right? Cooling centers opening this morning across greater L.A. to help people deal with the sizzling March heat wave.
Mario Ramirez is at a cooling center in Culver City. Hi there, Mario.
Hi, Sandra, Roxia. That's right. More than 100 cooling centers open across L.A. County as we're talking about extreme heat moving into Southern California. Today we have a heat advisory, but those even, hotter temperatures moving in starting tomorrow. So one of those cooling centers here in Culver City, just take a look. This is the Culver City Senior Center at Overland Avenue and Culver Boulevard as temperatures across Southern California are climbing 20 to 30 degrees above normal in mid-March. Cooling centers like this, great resource for people struggling outside. Now, I have Nick Adams here. He's the recreational specialist with Culver City. This, as I said, is a great resource. And what is this operating, or how does this operate as a cooling center as we're seeing these high temperatures?
Okay, so while it is the Culver City Senior Center, the building is a public building, so the hallways are open to everybody. You don't have to be a senior. All ages, people can come in, get out of the heat. Of course, it's air conditioned. We can even charge your phones. We have outlets along these hallways. We have restrooms. We have water fountains, drinking fountains. People can just come in, enjoy the space, cool off between our operating hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 12 to 4 on Saturday and Sunday. We certainly don't want anybody melting from the heat outside, so they can absolutely come in.
Yeah, and it's that serious. We're talking about temperatures reaching the triple digits later this week in some parts of Southern California. I know that faced so many people across Southern California are like, no, not this week because it's mid-March. But have you seen people taking advantage of places like this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's always people that come in every day, again, for charging their phones, even to take a nap, get some water, just spend a little bit of time inside, kind of reset, recharge, and that's completely fine for everybody to come in here and enjoy the space.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for talking to us. So whether it's a cooling center, public library, just one way to stay cool during this heat wave, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
It's really important. All right, Mario, thank you. So developing this morning, a suspect is in custody after a pursuit, a crash, and then a tense rooftop standoff with police.
Yeah, it was quite the morning. It all happened overnight in Sun Valley. Gigi Gracia live with the full story. Gigi.
It certainly made for a very long and tense night for LAPD's Foothill officers. Take a look. This is how it all ended after hours of going on. A dramatic end. A man wanted on suspicion of driving under the influence and then leading police on a pursuit, dangling off the side of a two-story building, hanging onto a camera pole after he either fell or jumped, but then tried to save himself from falling. It was eventually police and paramedics paramedics who rushed in to save him. This all started just after 3:30 this morning when LAPD Foothill officers pulled him over on suspicion that he was driving under the influence. They say the suspect is a documented gang member, and he did stop. But while talking to him, officers reportedly saw drug paraphernalia and alcohol inside the car. And that's when they say he took off, launching a pursuit that lasted all of 2 minutes, police say, before the 43-year-old suspect lost control and crashed right into the front of Bird Middle School on Arleta here in Sun Valley. From there, he ran straight onto school property, forcing the closure of Roscoe and part of the 170 freeway behind the school. But even though he was surrounded by officers, he refused to give up. Instead, he climbed onto the roof of a 2-story building and the standoff was on. For the next 2 hours, police described his behavior as erratic, at times trying to hide, other times screaming from the side of the building, and even more concerning, taking off his shirt and tying it around his neck and a pole as if he were going to harm himself. That prompted firefighters to put down a large air cushion below the building as police called in their mental evaluation unit, clinicians specially trained to deal with people who are possibly having a mental health crisis. At one point, the suspect's parents and 16-year-old son even arrived. Officers had hoped their presence might convince him to come down safely so the teen wouldn't have to witness all of it, but that didn't work either. Then suddenly it all ended when again the suspect either jumped or fell off the side of the building. He was taken to the hospital for both a medical and mental evaluation. Meanwhile, officers spent at least another hour searching the school grounds for a possible gun. They do believe he was armed, and they say he's no stranger to law enforcement. In the past, he was even arrested for murder, although it's unclear how that case turned out. No weapon was found, and classes are underway as scheduled here at Bird Middle School. Reporting live this morning in Sun Valley, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
It was an eventful morning, that is for sure. All right, Gigi, thank you. New developments this morning in the investigation surrounding singer David and the death of a teenage girl whose body was found in his car last year.
A new social media post from his friend Neo raises new questions about their relationship, and Brooke Thomas has the latest on what we're learning this morning.
Yeah, you know, until this point, for all we knew, these two were very, very close. I mean, this is a friend who didn't show up to the grand jury willingly. He had to be arrested before testifying for some 40 minutes. I caught up with TMZ's Harvey Levin earlier this morning. He says he knows law enforcement believed this friend, Neo, knew a lot about the case. That's just how close Neo and David were. But Harvey got a hold of some posts from Neo's private Instagram stories just days ago, and it seems the two are no longer close, to say the least.
Neo blasted David on Friday afternoon, calling him a pretty bad name and saying that, number one, Neo was not involved in any of this. Number two, that he knew a lot more than what was in the news. That makes him a really critical witness in this case.
Wind a bit, get you caught up if you are unfamiliar. Last year, authorities found the body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez in the trunk of a Tesla that was registered to singer David. Since then, there actually hasn't been very much information, not much at all, released to the public on the case. David has officially been named as a target of a grand jury investigation, and his family and other associates face subpoenas. If you are surprised by how quiet authorities have been when it comes to releasing any information or any advancements in this case, you're not alone.
I've covered many, many cases over the years, and this one ranks among the top involving secrecy during the investigation. I haven't seen high-profile cases like this where over a period of months, many months, authorities have just been locked down in terms of putting information out.
Yeah, we got a little bit more over the weekend. Neo said that he would not have anything else to say about this, but Harvey honed in on one small but important thing Neo did say. I'm going to show that to you in the next hour. Back to you.
All right, Brooke, a lot of details there. Interesting to get an update. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Let's get you caught up, though, with what's going on with Iran. Here's the very latest. Fighting has spread beyond Iran's borders into the wider region. as Israel expands its ground offensive in southern Lebanon to target Hezbollah positions.
At the same time, tensions are rising around the Strait of Hormuz, where Iran is blocking ships from countries it considers hostile. The strait carries around 20% of the world's oil, raising concerns about global energy supplies and gas prices here at home.
Meanwhile, President Trump is pressuring U.S. allies to reopen the route, calling on NATO nations and China to send naval forces to the region. Trump is also warning that he could delay a planned summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping if China doesn't cooperate.
And gas prices continue to soar because of the war. So here's a look at some of the gas averages in our area. In Los Angeles and Long Beach, we're seeing $5.62 per gallon. Orange County, $5.57. Riverside and San Bernardino, $5.50. And in Ventura, $5.55.
On 9/11, still to come, star-studded night. Amanda joining us after the break with the biggest moments from the 98th Academy Awards.
But first, a check of traffic.
And Good Day LA Traffic is brought to you by DTLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys. As we take a look at one of our traffic cameras, noticing that low cloud cover, a little bit of fog here near Huntington Beach in Orange County. This is the 405 northbound at Bolsa Chica. So noticing that cloud cover, so just slow it down if you do encounter that. It will clear out. We'll get sunshine and certainly those warmer temperatures today. The drive is slow coming out of downtown LA on that 10 freeway westbound towards Santa Monica. This is between the 5 to the 405. It's 49 minutes. Northbound 110 between the 405 to the 10. It's a little better, 25 minutes on that West 60 between the 57 to the 5. About 35 minutes there. Here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
This broadcast is locally sponsored by DTLA Law Group, Auto Accident and Injury Attorneys. Have an injury? Text Injury Help to 40222 or visit us online at calldowntown.com. Message and data rates and usage may apply.
On Fox 11.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Let's jump right into it. Day after Oscars, entertainment sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. So there was a lot to celebrate last night, but at the end of the night for Oscars, you know it's the big category, 10 nominees, 1 winner for Best Picture.
One battle after another.
Cue the Steely Dan. One battle after another edged out Sinners to take home Best Picture. It won 6 Oscars in all. And before last night, you know, Paul Thomas Anderson had won all the big director awards, so it aligned. The stars did align, pun intended. So last night was no surprise with that director category.
One battle after another, Paul Thomas Anderson.
So we need each other. This is a wonderful gift, and I'm so happy to call the movies home. This is really terrific. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Wanted to highlight Paul Thomas Anderson because he was born in Studio City. So congratulations to the One Battle After Another team and to our very own local guy, PTA.
That's right.
All
Really
right,
exciting. We are going to cut this short, Amanda, unfortunately, but we do have to go to President Trump right now. He's holding a news conference ahead of a scheduled board meeting at the Kennedy Center. Let's listen in. He's talking Iran.
They've been a terror for 47 years, and now I guess the world, through the United States, with the help of Israel, is doing what should have been done many years ago. Should have been done many years ago. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, where the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones, and that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today. And it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week and a half. That has to be some kind of a record. Additional strikes continue to launch from all directions every single hour. And as you know, we attacked Carg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. So we left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes notice. It'll be over. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing. But it may not stay that way. Just one simple word and the pipes will be gone too, but it'll take a long time to rebuild that. We are aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base, and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero. And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, with more than 30 mine-laying ships destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in. But we don't know that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape. The countries, I said, we've already taken care of Iran, but now, because of the fact that literally a single terrorist can put something in the water or shoot something or shoot a missile, a small missile, and it's fairly close range because it is a tight area, and which is one of the reasons they've always used that as a weapon. Iran has always used that as an economic weapon, and it's not going to be able to be used very long. Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job. And when we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor. Very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left. But they said, would rather not get involved. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that was said, because I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries, because I know that we'll protect them, and if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time, just like I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago. Predicted all of this stuff. You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly. I wrote it in a book. You can even check. About a year before the World Trade Center came down, President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that too. I predicted a lot of things. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait for blood. I mean, these people literally need it. 95% of their energy or their oil comes out of the Strait, and they should be in here very happily helping us. And it's incredible. We have such great. We're #1 in oil by double now. We drill, baby, drill. We're double any other nation, and it's going to be soon triple any other nation. And that doesn't include Venezuela, who's been great. By the way, the relationship with Venezuela has been fantastic. Millions, literally millions of barrels of oil are being taken out, and it's been a great help, and it's been to their great benefit. The president has done a really good job. We get along with him really well, but we've taken out millions of barrels of oil and brought to Houston and other places to the refineries. We have refineries set up specifically for that, and it's been a great relationship, and more and more is happening. It's a tremendous oil source, and we're stepping it up very rapidly. The big companies are going in, and they will actually numbers in a pretty short period of time, numbers that they've never been able to do. We'll be doing. There's a lot of oil under that land. We strongly encourage the other nations to get involved with us and get involved quickly and with great enthusiasm. I have that from a number of them, and I'd like to say their names, but frankly, I don't know if they would want me to or not, because maybe they don't want to be targeted. But I say, wouldn't matter if you're targeted or not, because this is a paper tiger that we're dealing with now. It wasn't a paper tiger 2 weeks ago. It's a paper tiger now. So now we're going to get down to the reason. We'll take a couple of questions in a moment, but we're going to get down to the reason we're here today. Actually, this was set up a long time ago. It's the Trump Kennedy Center. Over the past year, we've made incredible strides to restore the true purpose and prestige of this revered institution. Together, we're going to ensure it remains the finest performing arts facility of its kind anywhere in the world. And I don't know that it ever really reached that stage, but it will over a period of time. We're rebuilding it. It's in very, very bad condition. It's been it's been somewhat of a disaster, to be honest with you. It's been let go to hell. That's what they've done. They did a poor job. They spent money in the wrong places. They built some theaters underneath that nobody uses, little ones, tiny theaters that cost $300 million. And the money was spent incorrectly and wrong. We're dealing with some networks on the possibility of renting those little theaters. Nobody's going to use them. They want the big halls. The halls are going to be incredible. They're in bad shape. But when they're completed, the bones are potentially something that could be unbelievable. So I want to, before we begin, I want to thank Rick Grinnell. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. He's been unbelievable. He went to he was the ambassador, as you know, to Germany. There was no happier woman in the world than Angela Merkel. Angela. She called me. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We've been listening to President Trump talk about new plans for the Kennedy Center, but before that, addressing the war in Iran, talking about how other nations should be helping the United States, and also touting some of the successes he says the U.S. has had in this effort, as well as the issue of the Strait of Hormuz, trying to get oil through that passageway, and obviously some relief in terms of the oil supply.
So we will continue to monitor that and bring you the latest on our airwaves. In the meantime, though, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to 9:30. I'm Roxy Carpadio.
I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The ongoing war in Iran has choked off global oil traffic. What President Trump is doing to pressure China to support the U.S. in its war with Iran.
Plus, turning pain into art, how Eaton Fire victims are showcasing their artwork in reference to the wildfire.
And ahead of the FIFA World Cup, LA officials want you to ride the metro. How they're preparing to move tens of thousands of fans on game day. But first, a check on weather.
And yes, let's talk about our heat and the weather that's going to get really, really hot this week. Good Day LA weather is sponsored by Pechanka Resort Casino. Right now, we're taking a live look outside. A little bit of that patchy cloud cover and some fog here at LAX. You can see the pylons here. The traffic not too bad going into the airport. Otherwise, we're going to look for plenty of sunshine today and those temperatures really warming up to above average. Tomorrow, by the way, is St. Patrick's Day, so you can get your green on. Yeah, we've got really hot temperatures, 97 expected with sunshine and those temperatures well above average. So I'll go over that in just a few moments. In the meantime, high pressure is really in control of our weather, and it has been for the better part of this month, keeping that storm track well away. This time, this high is very strong. It's going to create some dangerous hot conditions for us with temperatures getting up to 20, 30 degrees, even 35 degrees above normal. So heat alerts into place, and we could be looking at more record high temperatures, possibly the hottest March temperatures ever since we've been keeping records in 1878. So we could be getting upper 90s to 100 for downtown LA. Very hot conditions as that high continues to block us from that storm track. So looking at SoCal-wide heat alerts in place. So please stay heat safe. You definitely want to stay indoors in some air conditioning and avoid any strenuous activity outdoors. 92 for downtown, 99 in Indio today. And looking at our temperature trend here on Ontario, we're going to hold on to this heat all the way through at least Friday with the peak of the heat, and then we'll start to bring things down as we get to Saturday. Sunday, more noticeable cool down expected, still above average. I'll show you the rest of the forecast when I come back. Back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. Now, what started as an early morning pursuit and crash in Sun Valley ultimately turned into a wild and tense scene on top of a roof.
Now, let's go to Gigi right now. She's got the first look at the story. You broke it this morning. Joining us now with how it all ended.
It was a very long night for LAPD foothill officers and also for the folks who live in this neighborhood. Take a look. It was a very dramatic end to a 2-hour standoff with police. A man wanted on suspicion of driving under the influence and then leading police on a pursuit, dangling off the side of a 2-story building, hanging onto a camera pole after he either fell or jumped, but then tried to save himself from falling. It was, though, police and paramedics who saved him. It all started just after 3:30 this morning when LAPD foothill officers pulled him over on suspicion he was driving under the influence. They say the suspect is a documented gang member, and he did stop. But while talking to him, officers reportedly saw drug paraphernalia and alcohol inside his car. That's when they say he took off, launching a pursuit that lasted all of 2 minutes before police say the 43-year-old suspect lost control and crashed right into the front of Bird Middle School here in Sun Valley. From there, he ran straight onto school property, forcing the closure of Roscoe and part of the 170 freeway, which is behind the school. And even though he was surrounded by officers, he still refused to give up. Instead, he climbed onto the roof of a 2-story school building, and the standoff was on. For the next 2 hours, police described his behavior as erratic, at times trying to hide, other times screaming from the side of the building, and even more concerning, taking off his shirt and tying it around his neck with one end tied to a pole as if he might harm himself. That prompted firefighters to put down an air cushion below the building, and police called in their mental evaluation unit. Those are clinicians that are specially trained to deal with people who are possibly having a mental health crisis. At one point, the suspect's family also arrived, including his 16-year-old son and parents. Officers hope their presence might convince him him to come down safely so the teen wouldn't have to witness this, but that didn't work either. Then suddenly it all ended when again the suspect either jumped or fell off the side of the building. He was taken to the hospital for a medical and mental evaluation. Meanwhile, officers searched the school grounds for a possible gun. They do believe at some point he was armed, and they say he's no stranger to law enforcement. He has a long rap sheet. He was even arrested for murder, although it's unclear what became of that case. Ultimately, no weapon was found, and school went on as scheduled. The suspect will now be booked, and he's facing a long list of charges. In Sun Valley, I'm Gigi Graciette.
Definitely a wild scene there, Gigi. Thank you. On to this now. A new exhibition of local artists features work by victims of the Eaton fire.
Let's go to Coco live in Culver City with so many ways these artists are expressing themselves. Good morning.
Hey there, and you really said it. This is a way to really express yourself, to try to heal post-Eden fire as well. This is called Post-Fire 1, featuring artists who are survivors of the Eden fire, including Margaret Griffith here. And Margaret, your work really speaks for itself, but tell us about this piece and what it means to you.
Thank you. This piece is titled Vestiges, which means something that is disappearing or a trace of something that's gone. And it comes from a body of work that I've been working on that has to do with borders and boundaries that are constructed both psychologically and physically using patterns that are found in the built environment. This particular pattern, while it looks very abstract, it's a circular grid pattern, is based on perforated steel that's used in everyday building.
Yes. And Margaret, you were telling me you lost your home and studio, and your husband is also part of this, and you just want to make sure people don't forget about what happened.
Exactly. It's really important to us to keep the story out there. We have a community that's really suffering, needs a lot of emotional and financial support. So it's important that everybody knows the loss and the impact that people can make to help contribute to our neighborhood is incredibly important.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Margaret. Thank you for sharing your work with us as well. And I want to bring in Philippe Browning, who is the founder of Des Artistes here, this gallery, and tell us more about this exhibition.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us. Good morning. Good day, LA. Excited to introduce Des Artistes in our inaugural show, Post-Fire 1. Which we really think is a testament to the spirit of artists, that even in the face of great loss, they continue to make work. We wanted to provide a platform for those artists. The show is open from Wednesday to Sunday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. and running until June 1st. All of the proceeds for the show go to the artists. There's a great range of artists, some known, some unknown, and we really encourage everybody to come down. Bring your kids, your families, and come enjoy the show in Culver City at 6006 Washington Boulevard, Post-Fire 1 until June 1st. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philippe, and said so well. Of course, the show is running until June 1st, so make sure to come here and support these artists, including Margaret and her amazing work. I'll send it back to you.
So much meaning behind each piece. All right, Coco, thank you. Now to the latest on the war in Iran. President Trump just spoke in Washington, D.C. moments ago, repeating his call to other countries to help keep the Strait of Hormuz open by sending warships. This is a key waterway for transporting oil. Iranian forces have blocked it, partly contributing to the spike in gas prices we've seen in recent weeks. At the same time, new airstrikes were reported in Beirut and Tehran. Meanwhile, an Iran-backed group targeted the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. So far, more than 1,300 people have been killed, and the global economy is feeling the impact. President Trump telling NBC News he's not ready to make a ceasefire deal because the terms, quote, aren't good enough yet.
The president also says that he may delay his upcoming trip to China in order to pressure Beijing to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Trump is urging China to join a coalition to protect oil tankers, saying that he needs a commitment before his visit. In the meantime, the standoff overseas is already being seen as Americans deal with rising prices at the pump. And here's a look at some of those prices right now. In Los Angeles and Long Beach, we're seeing $5.62 per gallon. Orange County, $5.57. Riverside and San Bernardino, $5.50. And in Ventura, $5.55.
With prices so high, it feels like every cent matters. So there are a few things you can do to get more miles out of each tank. So according to AAA, that starts with slowing down. Vehicles are designed for optimum fuel efficiency around 65 miles per hour. You can also use the cruise control. Staying at a consistent speed burns less gas, and you should also check your tire pressure. Low tires burn more gas, so check the air filter, which can also improve fuel economy. And finally, get the junk out of your trunk. Less weight in your vehicle will also save on fuel burning.
That's actually a good tip. You also want to keep your windows closed this week with record-breaking temperatures expected. It's going to feel like we're in the middle of summer all week. Tuesday and Wednesday will likely be the hottest days for LA and Ventura County. And then you've got the IE and OC. That will be the highest temps on Thursday and Friday. We can't stress this enough. This is very dangerous. The temps are really high. Be prepared. Pack shade. Bring an umbrella, wear a hat, walk those dogs and work out, of course, early or after the sun is down. And remember, do not ever leave a pet or a person in a car. A parked car can reach 110 degrees in less than 10 minutes.
Ski and snowboard season at Snow Valley is officially over. Big Bear Mountain Resort announcing that yesterday was the last day to hit the slopes at Snow Valley, with last laps at Snow Summit and Bear Mountain projected for early to mid-April. You're looking at video from last month's winter storm, and they say they are really looking forward to welcoming people on the bike trails this summer or back on the slopes next winter.
Meanwhile, on the ice in Italy, another gold medal for Team USA at the Paralympics. Another defeat to our neighbors north of the border. Team USA beating Canada 6-2 in the Paralympic sled hockey final over the weekend. Coming first nation to sweep the hockey tournaments at the Olympics and Paralympics 3 weeks ago, the men and women's teams also beat Canada to win Olympic gold, with the men's team ending a 46-year drought. Again, all three teams, men and women in the Paralympic team, won gold in Milan. Team USA posting on Instagram, golden hat trick. This marks the first trifecta USA completed in hockey, making history for the country.
All right, LA is known for its traffic, of course, but the people at Metro are trying to change all that and that image, especially with the global stage coming to town for the FIFA World Cup. So we got a sneak peek at how they plan on making sure people can figure out how to get around town. Step on board, the only way to get around town during the FIFA World Cup. That's the message Metro has for residents and visitors alike when LA becomes the global stage for matches kicking off in June.
US and Mexico, Canada.
And the vibe is all about excitement and community. Metro is launching a campaign to make sure people know how to get around with 4 commercials, billboards, and messaging so you can plan and prepare for the world's largest single sport tournament that happens only every 4 years.
We're looking at carrying over 25,000 excited fans going to the game and coming back from the game, again, as safely, reliably, and as fast as possible. As the official transit provider for the Los Angeles World Cup, LA Metro is proud to host the world as they come to center stage here in Los Angeles. So in addition to our 1,600 buses that we run every day, we're going to be bringing in 300 additional buses to provide service on 9 different routes that come out of transit centers as well as park and ride lots. And there's actually more to come in the future over the next couple of weeks.
One of the things that we're really excited about is bringing the fact that we've got so many diverse communities here, so people can take transit and explore LA just like a local, but to all of the different countries that were represented throughout our neighborhoods in Los Angeles.
We got to get around this town somehow.
Ready to take Metro to go to the games, to go to the fan zones, whether they're official or just the community watch parties. We are going to be the best option to get around LA, avoid traffic, not get stuck in traffic congestion, and really enjoy.
Metro is trying to shake that bad rap LA has for snarling traffic. The easiest solution to avoid that? Take mass transit.
I think people forget that we're the second largest transportation system in the United States. You can get where you need to go as quickly as you want, when you want to.
I love how soccer brings like the community together. Honestly, I feel like I've made a home out of it, you know, so I'm thankful for it a lot, and I feel like I just can't wait until like everyone comes to the city.
It's just part of my life. I started playing when I was 5, and I started playing, really young, and through that, like, I made so many friends and work, and everything's related to soccer. So yeah, if there's no soccer, I don't know who I am,
Soccer is life, and the life of the party is coming right here to Los Angeles, right? Yeah, let's go. It's the only way to get around town because we're expecting tens of thousands of fans, 8 matches here in LA alone. But the global stage coming here for the World Cup, they're going to experience so much more than just the matches. She was talking about the fan zones and just tourism, right? Going to the beach and to Little Tokyo, maybe downtown LA. You want to make sure you take mass transit.
Yes.
So get used to it.
Yes, but also it looks like it's going to be a party.
Yeah.
Something like that will very much be a reality. So enjoy. Yeah. All right, 9:45, still to come. Actors and actresses shining on the red carpet last night, and you can get that same level of glam as well.
Yeah, our next guest will show us how to get camera-ready skin for any occasion. So stick with us.
Storm system causing major flooding and damage in Hawaii. It's impacting all of the islands, with Maui and the Big Island seeing some severe flooding and power outages. The storm system, known as a Kona low storm, is bringing heavy winds from the southwest, which is opposite of the norm for Hawaii. And Maria can speak to that.
Yeah. When I was in Hawaii, of course, forecasting weather there, we talked about the Kona lows, and this was an unusual one, which really brought some severe impacts. Talking about 13 inches of rain in just about 3 days there on Maui, with 6 inches more yesterday. We're looking at some damage here related to that Kona low. That storm system has actually moved off to the north. However, look at all of the rain showing up on the radar. So still chances for inclement weather continue this week, with another area of low pressure watching that could impact the Hawaiian Islands by the end of this week. So if you have vacation plans going to Hawaii, this is still part of the wetter months. And I got to tell you, any day, any wet day in Hawaii is still better than anywhere else. So if that can put you at ease. High pressure, conversely, here is in control of our weather. So maybe you want to stay here. We've got heat and very hot temperatures on tap. Not just today, but getting into the remainder of this week, we're talking about temperatures, record-breaking high temperatures, potentially the hottest that we've ever seen in the month of March. That's possible with the strength of this ridge of high pressure. So get ready for that, please. Stay heat safe, stay indoors in air conditioning, and if you do have to work outside under these weather conditions, you really need to take numerous breaks. And of course, take the necessary precautions like drink a lot of water. If you're headed to the beach, temperatures on the sand low 70s. We do have some surf rolling in 2 to 4 plus feet. So please be extra careful if you are planning to get in the water for some relief from the heat. Inland, do so near a lifeguard. 72 along the coast, but look at the 80s here as we get to Wednesday, Thursday into Friday, which could be those days where we really do break those records. 92 for downtown LA, looking at 98 by Thursday. Tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. Friday, we officially welcome spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, although it has not felt like winter at all for us. 95 degrees for the valleys in the IE. This is even hotter than summer months. 68 up into the mountains eventually. Low 80s as we get to the middle part of this week. 87 in the high desert. Mid 90s there as we welcome spring on Friday, and the Coachella Valley out in Palm Springs 100 today. If you think that's hot, look at 111 by the end of this week. All right, I'll send it back to you.
My gosh, so hot. All right, Maria, thank you. Award season glam may look effortless on the red carpet, but a lot of that camera-ready finish comes down to a great base.
That's right, and no one knows it better than celebrity makeup artist Ash K. Holm, whose clients include Megan Fox, Haley Steinfeld, Lindsay Lohan, and Eva Longoria, just to name a few. So today, after a long and busy weekend, right, she is here to show us the best techniques that'll leave skin smooth and glowing on camera and in real life. And with these temperatures, right?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yes. So red carpet skin should always look healthy, radiant, and effortless. And I want to show you guys how to achieve that at home in just 3 simple steps that will really just take your makeup to the next level.
Okay, what's the first step?
So when you're starting off with your makeup, you really want to think about light layers. So when you're applying your skincare, think of light layers and your base in light layers. So that way, whenever you apply your blush and your bronzer, everything just looks seamless and it's not too much makeup on the skin. So I'm going to start off with the first step, and it's going to be setting with powder properly. So I'm going to take a little bit of powder and make sure you swirl it in the back of your hand so you don't have too much powder kind of flying up. We really want this to be pressed into the skin. So when powdering, I want the center of the face to be naturally matte. So I'm going to start pressing throughout this area here. Now, when you're on camera and you're looking at the red carpet photos, you look at each person and they're always naturally matte here, and that's what's going to make the skin look the most flattering. And I'm also going to go around the sides of the nasal labial fold, which are the smile lines. It's really important that we matte this area, and then a little bit right underneath the eyes. Another trick you can do is use a powder puff. This is another way to get a really flawless finish. So you can just go right around the sides of the nose like this. I like to keep the sides of the face a little bit more glowy, so in order to get a little bit more radiance back into the skin, you can use cream blush as like a finishing step. So I'll show you how to do that. So that's my second tip.
So over the powder, you would use the cream blush?
Yes, yes.
Oh.
I know, and normally you would think that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Exactly, but you actually can, and it's all about your technique and application. So I'm going to be taking a brush, I'm going to pick up the cream product, and you can use whatever you have at home. So I'm going to take it on the back of my hand, press this in, because that way I'm not going directly on the skin and putting too much product.
You really get all the excess off first before you apply.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So when you're applying the blush, I'm going to create a higher application. This is going to give more of a lift. So I'm just going to start pressing this in, and it's going to bring that radiance into the skin. I'm also going to take it and apply it right above the brows in 2 vertical sections right here. This is going to add this beautiful harmony and warmth throughout the skin.
So you should always do that with blush?
Personally, I love this tip because it just brings the color all throughout, so it's not just in one place. I'm going to turn you this way. So that way when you're on the red carpet and the light is kind of reflecting off of the face, you get this gorgeous glow from the sides, but when you're looking from the center, you're nice and matte.
So do you powder over the cream after or no?
So you can actually powder like around the sides, but I wouldn't powder on top because we really want that beautiful luminosity to just shine through. So that way you're naturally matte in the center, but you have that glow on the sides. And so as you're looking at the skin, you can grab a little bit more powder where you need it, take the powder puff, and just kind of matte out this area. I don't like to overdo it though, because we don't want it to look overly powdered on a red carpet. It's also really important to go right above the brows right here, but keeping that luminosity from the sides onward. Now I want to add a little bit of cream.
And this is the highlighter?
Yes.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite tips because it just adds even more of like this freshness to the skin. So I'm going to turn you this way so you can take your cream highlighter and a sponge. I'm just going to go directly on the product, pinch it horizontally, put it on the back of your hand. And then press right on top of the blush.
On top.
This just gives you even more of a glow. Then take it and go right underneath the sides of the face.
On
and
the
you can even,
jawline,
yes, and you can even do the neck, the ear. I mean, we want to be glowing from, yes.
Wow.
When you're on the red carpet, everything needs to look flawless. I mean, from every single angle. That's really important.
And let me ask you a question about powder though, because there are different shades of powder. So I noticed the one you used is more white, but there's like that yellowish hue, a pinkish hue. Does that matter?
It does. That's a really good question. So depending on your skin tone, you can adjust the powder. So if you have more of like a medium tan skin tone, I would look for a powder that has more of a yellow undertone. And then if you have more of a deeper complexion, you can find powders that have like that richness to them, like a little bit of a red brown to the powder or a little pinch of orange or to add that warmth. So it can always be adjusted. And if you're really fair, you can actually do a slightly light pink powder.
Oh,
yes.
All these tricks and tips. Okay.
You look great.
Thank you so much.
You gotta go somewhere.
Yes.
I know. Where are you going? You have plans?
We're gonna make some.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
You have to go somewhere.
That's my red carpet skin in 3 easy steps.
Thank you so much.
Ash and Sandra, thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Thanks for coming in after a long night.
Oh my God. Anytime
Working the
for you guys.
Oscars.
Yeah, you look great. Welcome to 10 a.m. on this Monday morning, and here's some of the stories we're covering for you.
It was a wild and dangerous night here in Sun Valley after a DUI suspect led police on a pursuit, crashed into a school, climbed onto a building, where he then spent the next several hours. We're live.
And as extreme heat moves into Southern California this week, we're showing you one way to find some relief, including cooling centers that have now opened across LA County. We're live in Culver City just ahead.
Yeah, really important to know where these cooling centers are. Dangerous heat wave with us again this week, and we're talking about the hottest temperatures we've seen in the month of March so far since we've started keeping records. The heat maybe 20 to 35 degrees above normal. This extreme heat will, of course, cause heat-related illnesses for some, and not going to get any relief until maybe on Sunday. I'll go over all the details when I come back.
And the Marines released a report on an unplanned explosion that went off during Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to Camp Pendleton last October.
Developing this morning, a suspect is in custody after a pursuit, a crash, and a tense rooftop standoff with police.
It all happened overnight in Sun Valley, and Gigi Graciette is live there with all the details. Gigi.
It certainly was a very long night for both police officers, a family, and the folks who live in this Sun Valley neighborhood who had to hear the police chopper and the megaphone asking the suspect to please come down off a building, something he didn't want to do for many hours. Take a look. This is how it all ended, with the suspect finally coming down. He either jumped or fell off that building here at Byrd Middle School, and then he tried to stop himself from falling, but ultimately it was police and paramedics who rescued him. A dramatic end to a long standoff that started just after 3:30 this morning when LAPD Foothill officers pulled him over on suspicion he was driving under the influence. They say the suspect is a documented gang member, and he did stop, but while talking to him, officers reportedly saw drug paraphernalia and alcohol inside the car, and that's when he took off, launching a pursuit that lasted all of 2 minutes, police say, before the 43-year-old suspect lost control and crashed into Byrd Middle School here in Sun Valley. From there, he ran straight onto school property, forcing the closure of Roscoe and part of the 170 freeway, which is right behind the school. But even though he was surrounded by officers, he still refused to give up. Instead, he climbed onto the roof of a 2-story school building, and the standoff was on. For the next 2 hours, police described his behavior as erratic, at times trying to hide, other times screaming from the side of the building, and even more concerning, taking off his shirt and tying it around his neck and a pole as if he were going to harm himself. That prompted firefighters to put down an air cushion and police to call in their mental evaluation unit. Those are clinicians specially trained to deal with people who possibly are having a mental health crisis. At one point, the suspect's family even arrived, including his parents and his 16-year-old son. Officers hope that their presence might convince him to come down safely so the teen wouldn't have to witness this, but that didn't work either. Then suddenly it all ended when, again, the suspect either jumped or fell off the side of the building. He was taken to the hospital for both a medical and mental evaluation. Meanwhile, officers spent a long time searching the school grounds for a possible gun. They do believe he was armed at some point, and they say he's no stranger to law enforcement. He has a long rap sheet, and we're told he was even arrested for murder, although the outcome of that arrest and case is unclear. He is now facing a long list of felony charges. Reporting live in Sun Valley, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
A lot of details there and a wild scene. Thank you so much, Gigi. New this morning, a fight on the Santa Monica Pier ends with 2 people shot. Police say the gunfire rang out around 9 o'clock last night following a large brawl. Both victims were taken to the hospital. Their injuries are not life-threatening. Parts of the pier were closed for a while as officers looked into what happened. So far, no one has been arrested.
And let's get you caught up with the latest out of Iran. Fighting spreading beyond Iran's borders into the wider region as Israel expands its ground offensive in southern Lebanon to target Hezbollah positions.
At the same time, tensions are rising around the Strait of Hormuz, where Iran is blocking ships from countries it considers hostile. The strait carries around 20% of the world's oil, raising concerns about global energy supplies and gas prices here at home.
Meanwhile, President Trump pressuring U.S. allies to reopen the route, calling on NATO nations and China to send naval forces to the region. Trump also warning he could delay a planned summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping if China does not cooperate.
And President Trump speaking this morning at a Trump Kennedy Center lunch for board members, and he gave an update on the war with Iran.
And as you know, we attacked Carg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes notice.
The president said the U.S. left oil-making capabilities on Carg Island alone so Iran can be rebuilt, that is. He threatened that the U.S. may change its policy on that, though, and President Trump also said that Iran's Air Force and Navy are gone and their missile capabilities are down to almost zero. However, he said he was not sure if Iran still has the ability to mine the Strait of Hormuz.
Developing news now, the Marines say a, quote, rare glitch was the cause of an artillery explosion that happened in October during Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to Camp Pendleton. The round exploded over the 5 freeway, raining down chaparral onto the road there. CHP cruiser was hit and a car in Vance's detail also hit. This happened during Vance's visit to Camp Pendleton, celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps during a live fire exhibition involving amphibious assault vehicles. So officials are saying the early detonation of the 155mm shell from one of those howitzer guns was due to a fuse malfunction. No specific reason, though, given for the malfunction in Friday's report, and they found no human error. Investigators speculate it was caused by a sound shockwave in combination with an electromagnetic field.
All right, new developments this morning in the investigation surrounding singer David and the death of a teenage girl whose body was found in his car last year. As new social media posts from his friend Neo raises questions about their relationship.
Yeah, let's bring in Brooke now for the latest on what we're learning. Didn't know this part of the story.
Yeah, let's get into it because this is a friend that, you know, at one point, at least it appeared, they were so close that seemed to have played a part into why he didn't show up to the grand jury willingly. He actually had to be arrested before showing up and testifying for 40 minutes. I caught up with TMZ's Harvey Levin earlier this morning. He says he knows law enforcement believed this friend, the friend's name is Neo, by the way. Law enforcement believed Neo knew a lot about the case. That's just how close the two were. Harvey got a hold of some posts from Neo's private Instagram stories just days ago, and it seems the two are no longer close, to say the least.
Neo blasted David on Friday afternoon, calling him a pretty bad name and saying that, number one, Neo was not involved in any of this. Number two, that he knew a lot more than what was in the news. That makes him a really critical witness in this case.
Yeah, let's get you caught up even more. Last year, authorities found the body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez in the trunk of a Tesla that was registered to singer David. Since then, there hasn't been very much information released to the public on the case. David has officially, though, been named as a target of a grand jury investigation, and we know subpoenas were sent to his family and other associates. The day after those posts Harvey just told you about, Neo posted again, this time essentially just saying he was done talking. But Harvey honed in on one word in this second statement, telling me it's incredibly important.
But he called Celeste the victim, saying the victim and her family. The reason that's so important is that Celeste's body was in such bad shape when it was found that we're told that the coroner had a really hard time with establishing cause of death. And we don't know still if they were able to determine cause of death. So for Neo to call Celeste a victim would seem to rule out an accidental overdose, which was one of the operating theories as an alternative to murder.
Yeah, that part is interesting. It's also just, I think, overall, really surprising to people following this, how secretive, that's the word Harvey used during my interview when I talked to him, just secretive authorities have been here. He said this is something he's almost never seen before. I mean, we're talking about a child's body, 15 years old. This is a teenager. We're talking about a child's body that was found, her remains found badly, you know, in a really bad way.
Decomposed,
yes,
right?
in the trunk of somebody's car, a high-profile person. And at this point, we really don't know anything.
Did he say why he thinks it's been so secretive, or it's just that they don't have a lot of information?
He just talked about how surprising that was even to him. Yeah. It's interesting because for so many different reasons, this is something that you'd think we'd hear so much more about.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But that's also fascinating how he picked up on that one word that other people might just, you know, blow past. But that kind of paints things in a different way, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's about who said it. Yeah. So
thank you.
All right, Brooke. Thank you. All right, a black bear and her 2 cubs have been captured in Monrovia, and it's believed to be the same bear that swiped at a woman's leg as she was walking her dog near Oak Glade and Ridgeside Drive Saturday after she surprised the animal. Fish and Wildlife officials used a tranquilizer dart to capture it around 6 o'clock last night. The cubs were also captured after they were lured out from under a house where they'd been living for the past couple months. Testing will be done on the mother bear to verify if it's the same one that scratched the woman, and if it is the same bear, it may be euthanized.
More wild burros in the Inland Empire are being attacked. The rescue group that rehabilitates injured burros has raised its reward to $50,000. A Donkeyland spokesperson saying the injuries are not the result of natural predatory prey interactions. At least 10 wild burros have been killed so far this year in the Riche Canyon area.
All right, you can beat the heat today at one of numerous cooling centers that have opened up in the city and the county of LA.
Yep, let's go to Mario. Cooling off, I guess, in one of those centers. You're in Culver City?
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely cooler here inside the Culver City Senior Center, one of more than 100 cooling centers that have opened up throughout Los Angeles County because of the extreme heat moving into Southern California this week. So I have Nick Adams. He is the recreational specialist with Culver City to tell us exactly how this works. So give us a run through. Somebody's outside. They're feeling really overwhelmed with the heat. What can they do?
Yeah, so this is a public building. It is open to everybody. You don't have to be a senior member to come in here, come into the hallway, charge your phone, sit down, get some water, use the restrooms, anything you need, or just escape the heat. Again, while this is a senior center, it's not just seniors that can enjoy this space. You can come in here and escape the heat.
Yeah, and you actually say that you see a lot of people find relief here in spots like this during these types of heat waves.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Usually see it more in the summers, of course, when it's 100 degrees. But then this week, because it's going to be so hot, we're expecting people to come in here, again, escape the heat. Our hours are between 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Anybody can come in. Weekends from 12 to 4. And we'd just love to have anybody from the community come in.
Nick, thanks so much. Yes, the doors are open here at the Culver City Senior Center. And I was just talking to this woman here, Thelma. She is living here in Culver City for the last 2 years from Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, and I know we were just talking about the weather. What do you make of all this heat here this week? Probably the hottest March here that you've had.
It's the hottest March, maybe, but I've had more heat and humidity in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm kind of used to this. It's not humid.
Yeah.
So
anything you do to prepare for this type of extreme heat?
No, I just dress accordingly, and I drink lots of water. I'm a water person anyway. Yes, not the swimming pool.
We're all going to be water people here this next week. Thank you, Thelma. Appreciate it. Stay cool. So again, one of many cooling centers here in LA County as we're continuing to follow this forecast and possible triple-digit temperatures later this week. For now, live in Culver City. Back to you, Sandra and Araxia.
All right, Mario, thank you. Maria's going to talk about those triple digits.
Yeah, really good advice, though, there coming from Mario. Definitely want to make plans to stay heat safe. It's hard to believe, but there are many people who don't have air conditioning. And when we're talking about multiple days in a row of well above average high temperatures, that can really bring heat stress to your body. And heat is the leading cause of weather-related deaths. Yes, it is. So please don't take this lightly. Right now, we're looking at some high clouds. That's about it, but we're definitely seeing that offshore flow. This is all related to an area of high pressure that is in control, and it's been in control really all month, starting with last month, the last week or so of February. The difference is this ridge of high pressure is very strong, and it is going to hold on and stay anchored over the southwest, producing dangerous temperatures in the range of 20 20 to 30, even 35 degrees above normal. So heat alerts are in place, more record highs, and possibly the hottest March temperatures ever recorded is certainly possible over the next several days. And right now we're looking at 99 was the warmest temperature in March back in 1879. So we'll wait and see if that happens. We could see those triple digits, like I said, for downtown LA as that high continues to dominate through Friday with very hot conditions. That high will weaken slightly as we get to the weekend, so temperatures will drop a little bit, but still going to be above average. Right now, it's already in the upper 80s in Ontario, 87, 81 in Corona, it's 84 in Woodland Hills, 73 downtown LA to that 86 in Palm Springs. High temperatures ranging from 100 in Palm Springs to 87 in the high desert, the mountains 68, downtown LA 92 to a little bit more comfortable 72 along the coast, but even there it's going to warm up even more. I'll show you that when I come back. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Maria. Amanda joining us with the wrap-up of all the big Oscar winners and a recap of the host Conan O'Brien's performance.
And some Hollywood residents are furious after getting their cars towed on Oscar Sunday. Why they say it is unfair despite warning signs.
And we do have a little bit of traffic to talk about. Good Day LA traffic is brought to you by My Home Sold. As we zoom in and take a look at one of our live traffic cameras here, it does look good now. We had some really hazy conditions earlier here in Orange County. This is the 91 at State College. Both sides of that 91 west and eastbound sides look good. And I know you can't tell, but it's heating up out there. Drive times in and out of downtown LA on that west 10 towards Santa Monica between the 5 to the 405, just 27 minutes now. Northbound 110 between the 405 to the 10, really good, 17 minutes. And on that west 60 between the 57 to the 5, yeah, not bad, 24 minutes there. Now here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
Hello, I'm Adrian Hernandez with MyHomeSold.com, and we want to buy your house cash. We'll give you a cash offer for your house today. Sell your house the easy way with no commissions, no fees, no repairs. For free, no obligation cash offer. Go to MyHomeSold.com.
Boiling over in Hollywood after dozens of cars were towed ahead of last night's Academy Awards. Witnesses say tow trucks moved block by block Sunday morning, clearing cars along the streets there like Wilcox and Vine, some more than half a mile away from the Dolby Theater. Drivers now have to pay more than $400 to get their cars back. People living in the area say the parking signs were confusing or contradictory.
These signs even confused the officers that were assigning tickets. When I questioned, does this sign make sense to you? They were like, no, we don't know why we're giving tickets. I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was a frenzy, like tons of cars, at minimum 100.
The Los Angeles Department of Transportation released a statement. Part of it reads, Los Angeles Department of Transportation posted signs on Vine Street to restrict parking on Friday for Academy Awards event setup, as well as signs to restrict parking on Sunday for the event itself. The statement goes on to say that drivers who believe their car was towed by mistake can